Greetings, beloveds, and welcome back. So, as I have noticed and I have witnessed, and many of you may have noticed, there's two what looks like bright stars in the sky, but in actuality, it's Venus and it's either Jupiter or Uranus. And they're getting closer and closer together as the week passes through. So let's get into some love things because with Jupiter and Uranus being there, so with Venus moving through Cancer and Gemini and Capricorn and Aries, with it being the moon in Sagittarius, needless to say, there's a lot going on. So, all right, let's see what Venus energy is pulling for the collective to see if I could go back in time, I would handle us differently is the first message. I wish I could be a different person. It hurts much. These feelings are eating me alive is the bottom foundation card. All right, we'll put that there. All right. Now let's get into the meat and potatoes of this. Now, I am feeling the energy that, you may have been trying for a long time to either go above and beyond what you can do to change somebody, for them to see things your way. And so there's a energy of nostalgia here where someone may circle back around definitely be, with the retrograde as well. So within this, you've got to be the judge, jury, and I don't know, maybe the executioner of your own life and the things that you desire and deserve for self. Okay. Um, New chapter. Okay. So you got to think, what's for me? How am I feeling? What am I getting fed? Is this food feel, giving me the fulfillment that I need? So we've got freedom. So when we can bear our truest selves, we are then able to freely love. And this is about being who you are as opposed to what somebody else wants you to be. Standing 10 toes down within your own personal truth. And what do you feel and desire that you need for you? Okay. And then within this soulmate energy, yeah, people do wish they could be different. And whether you're riding, if you riding down the road of wish I could be different, so I'm gonna make myself different. I'm gonna put in what I need to put in to make the changes that I need to make because this is very important for me and possibly in consideration of another. So there's some things that if I could go back in time, I would do things differently. Well, some things have been said and done that can't be forgotten, can't be, the band aid doesn't fit. There's always a side eye or either a wonder, will this happen again? The trust can't go back to where it was. Um, and within this, it hurts much. Yeah, this is can't be patched up with a band-aid. It just can't be rekindled the way in which it was. Okay. And someone could be in a lot of deep regret with these feelings are eating me alive. Well, because of the choices that you made. And yeah, you got your own free will. That's why if I could go back in time, I would handle us differently, And these are lessons that are to be learnt as you move through your own personal emotions as well as how you show up for another. What are you to them? What are they to you? So then, within this soulmate energy, the person you're inquiring about is your soulmate. That sense of familiarity and comfort you feel is confirmation. So, I'm feeling two things here. And that soulmate energy does happen when you meet a stranger and it feels like you've been knowing them all your life. There's that energy. And then also within this soulmate energy, it could be someone that is like a BFF. They're supposed to ride this journey with you. Okay. Then we have divine union. And you see, they just got married. So this soulmate energy could very well come in and somebody may say, oh, it's kind of soon for you all to be getting married and you just met and but. You know what? Don't listen to the naysayers. Eliminate the noise. Because whether, this may not be a forever after, but it's damn sure a journey that is supposed to happen at this divine timing. Okay? Congratulations. It's time to celebrate. Both you and your partner have healed and learned the important lessons to allow this union to manifest. All right. So this is after healing. This is after we both set ourselves free. We both find that this relationship is important enough for us to move forward. We went through the trenches. We went down dark alleys together. We went over the speed bumps. We patched up the potholes. And now we can move forward because we both cherish and understand the importance of this connection. We both appreciate this. We both fight and want the same things. So, yeah, that divine union is totally understandable. Congratulations. Absolutely. Then, with enchanted love here, a sacred bond that is divinely guided and harmonious. And you can feel that. It's almost as if this person doesn't have to say, I love you, because you can feel in the actions say it more than what the four-letter word can say. A sacred bond that is divinely guided and harmonious. This is very peaceful energy. Now, some of you are embarking on a new chapter. This is a fresh start. It's always good for everyone. Doors are opening for this new phase within your love life. So within this new phase, yeah, sometimes it gets a little nervous and sometimes people stay with the familiar no matter how toxic or shaky or inconsistent that it is, because people learn to thrive in the stress and drama as opposed to taking the time and accepting the divine flow of what spirit has for you, that you may be put on pause so that they can bring in that person. And then people may need to cleanse that energy from the past person before they can move on with a fresh start and a new chapter because you've understood and learned some lessons that within a relationship you realize, you know what? No, let me shake that off because the next time that I meet someone, I don't want that wounded sauce fragrance oozing off of me so that I can keep going down these repeated cycles of relationships that don't give me what I deserve and what I desire. Ask for help. What do you really need? Be willing to accept support. Hmm. Um, I'm feeling this energy that when you take that time to be alone with yourself and talk to however you view your support system, be it spiritual counsel, God, whomever, whatever brings you when you're in that dark hour of the night within yourself, when you are riding in your car and you're with your own personal and private thoughts, talk to that higher self. State exactly what you need. And sometimes it's even more powerful when you actually write it. And when your mind drifts into sadness, lower vibration, or doubting, or pessimism, or whatever, if it's not in the high vibration of what you want and it makes you feel bad, just start talking. Say, you know what, Most High, um, this is what I need. Okay. And the support may not come as you thought it would. And I'm also looking at the help of support from somebody wiser, okay? Because with this elderly man here and this young lady here, just like within a relationship, older people can give you certain insights on relationships, even stories about things that they've endured, but they stayed together. Um, so asking for help. This is getting a word from the wise. This next card is I love you. These are powerful words. Yes, they are powerful, but actions are more powerful. Okay? And then let's get it clear. You see this harp? Is this something that I just hear and I just hear and I don't see and I don't feel? Or wondering, well, you said you love me. Oh, well, I do. Well, why do you do this? Or why do you make me feel like that? That's just the way I love. So you got to differentiate and possibly have them hard questions and see if somebody can answer it. What is your definition of love? Because a lot of times is what one does for another, as opposed to, you know what I love about you? When I first met you, blah, blah, blah. As we moved on, blah, blah, blah. I love the way you handle disagreements. I love the way in which you know, the way you reacted when we bumped into my ex and boop, boop, boop. I love your grace. I love, so loving you and loving what they love about you is one thing, as opposed to, yeah, I love you. Every time I come home, you got dinner ready, my clothes clean, the house clean. Well, wait a minute. Well, what do you love about me as a person? That part. All right. Spiritual connection. Okay. Well, all that's going on in the world, and as we move into the age of Aquarius, this is what it's about. And these are connections in personal relationships as well as basically all relationships. There's a spiritual awareness that is coming, well, that is present, and more to come. I'll say that. A relationship has a connection that goes beyond this lifetime. Now, this is some trenches stuff right here. This is some soulmate, some divine union stuff right here. Okay. And there's a lot going on in this card, but it's a lot of joy and happiness. It's some things that have surpassed time itself. Time itself. And there has been challenges. But this spiritual connection, this is somebody that even when you are not together, you can feel each other because you see that path coming from her third eye, winding down here into his third eye, his crown chakra. That's deep. That is truly deep. So this is some clairvoyance. You can talk to each other with your mind without saying a word. Like attracts like. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. That perfume, that essence, that aroma that bounces off of you. It's just like player sauce on a man. When a man walk by and he got some good smelling player sauce, you like, damn. It makes you turn. You might even stop and say, what is that you're wearing? So that's the same type of energy because it's like baby and herself. However, what she once cherished as a child and who she is a little older, that's longing for more love and to be more loving. So it's almost as if it's childlike energy I'm feeling here. Because when we were kids, you just didn't, you just want to have fun. You just want to enjoy life. There's no backstabbing. There's no emotional baggage unless somebody took your favorite toy or something like that. But if in fact there are some wounds that are not healed, and if you carry those wounds from childhood up into adult, that will be a part of your aura. And you may attract wounded people that had a wounded past in childhood as you did. So this is the importance of healing, releasing before you embark on a new chapter. Okay? The sacred path. Let go of logic and trust your intuition. Spirit told me to look at this bottom foundation card. So, yeah, the player sauce may smell good. His outfit might be awesome. Okay? He might be finer than wine in the summertime and in the winter. But baby, if you look at him and it will come to you, but it could be so subtle that you would just not pay attention to it because you got player sauce going up your nostrils. He's standing there saying all the right things, licking his lips and looking in your eyes and saying all these sweet nothings and all this, that, and the other. Next thing you know, you don't pay attention to that intuition. Goddess of oneness. Someone you love is thinking of you fondly at the moment. All right. This is the spiritual connection thing I'm feeling for some of you. And feeling some nostalgia within that energy. Because with Venus helping it out, with the retrograde being there, and I feel this energy here is someone that has not talked to someone in a long, 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 long time. You've crossed their mind. It's almost like a connection that was never broken, even if you haven't talked in over 25 years. Or you have not seen them since high school or college. But there was something about this person, and however you lost contact with that person, you've crossed their mind. So within this, and it's a pleasant energy with all that green and that yellow. It's like somebody just never left your soul. It was just that special, and it could have been very brief. But however, you've crossed their mind. And there was no strife. It just kind of ended without even stating or acknowledging that it ended. And with Venus being here and the retrograde, yeah, it's a very fond memory. And it's like the connection has never been broken or lost. It just may have gotten a little thin, from the strength that it was in the beginning because of the distance of the years. We got Angel of Addiction healing. This is a time of positive transformation and healing. And I mean, that is confirming this like attracts like. Because, you see, with those two snakes being there, there's a lot that needs to be shedded. There's a lot of trauma, pain from past relationships, childhood. This is the time for it. Last year was the year of the snake, so a lot of people have come into this year of the fire horse ready for a new chapter. Standing 10 toes down, you know what? I'm done with that. I've released it. I've shed that. I've moved through this transformation. So now, moving forward, yeah, I got off that donkey and took a ride on that fire horse without the reins. Because it's like, you know what? Take me where I'm supposed to be. I am surrendering. I'm not going to keep fighting what Spirit has for me. I am letting the reins go, and I'm riding this horse with no saddle and no reins. That's just how free you have become after letting all that go. And no matter how long you have to be with yourself, you're patiently waiting. I'm patiently waiting for the right time, the right person, the right moment. But until then, all that love that you were putting in somebody else, you was like, you know what? I'm going to put it in myself, and I'm going to love and spoil some me until that person arrives. Angel of Addiction healing. This is a time of positive transformation and healing for you to move forward on your new chapter. Okay, let's get some twin flame messages. Ooh, just 24 minutes, fam. All right, let's get some twin flame messages, and I think I'll close it out. All right. First twin flame messages are, I feel safer in the silence. Yeah, without all the noise, because I can actually think. I'm not the same person that you remember. Ooh wee, this that shedding, this that moving on, this that healing. Okay, So somebody is gonna find out that somebody is moving different. I'm not the same person that you remember. Okay, after you've went into silence and taken that time to do a self check-in and be with yourself and have time to actually think, ponder, plan, and decide what I need to do for me, what is best for me, how my life has changed because I've changed. I miss the feel of you next to me. Well, yeah, I still love you. And, you know, I'm really feeling this in the energy of that person that wish they could have been different. I wish I'd have did this and I wish I'd have did that. And now that they may have tried to circle back around, you've been in a lot of silence. And you've been in a lot of stillness. You've had some alone time, but not being lonely. Okay? You don't have that lotion, that perfume of loneliness. I chose to be in silence. Okay? So I removed my chase to my choosing. And I'm not the same person that you remember. So yeah, you can miss the feel of me next to you. And you can say you still love me. However, that love no longer feels like I needed to feel for me. It really was me, not you. See, now they realize. But you have to have your free will to see if you're going to go down that path and that road again. Because when I was trying to tell you that it was you and some things that needed to change, you didn't want to hear it. You kept throwing it back on me. I need more time to figure things out. Okay. Well, this could be somebody contemplating trying it again, and they need some time. Then I'm also feeling the energy that this person may be making preparation for things to prove that they have changed, that they truly appreciate and understand your worth now. But you understand more about your worth since you're not the same person they remember. So hold on a second, shorty. We might need to take this slow because you might not like who I am now. And especially if you say you've changed, I definitely have changed. We have to see if that change meets where them soulmates meet and where that divine union and this spiritual thing meets. Okay? So somebody needs more time to figure some things out. Be it to patch it up or be it to say, you know what? I'm done and you're burnt. Stick a fork in us both. Well, you might need to axe because you're burnt. So you're just tough, toasted, and you can't eat it. It's burnt. You got to throw it in the garbage. I'm still trying to find myself. Well, you got to ask yourself, do I still want to keep waiting around for you to try and find you some get right and some understanding? And also, how much time is that? However, respect that space. I'm still trying to find myself. Okay, well, you go keep trying to find yourself, and I'm going to keep moving forward. And maybe when you find yourself, maybe I'll be available, maybe I won't. My heart is telling me just do it. I feel this is a very masculine energy right here because men are the toughest because they don't fall in love like women over and over and over. They're not emotional beings, which is totally understandable. And most of them don't have their divine masculine and feminine at a balance, because masculine and feminine is in us all, but it's the balance that's needed. Because when divine feminine is going through something, if a divine masculine has too much masculinity, he won't know or understand how to care for her or hug her when she needs a hug or be understanding about how she feels or even care. So there is an importance of balancing out our divine feminine and masculine so that those divine unions, those spiritual connections can do their work, play itself out as destiny opens those doorways for that. So, for the masculine, it does not make you weak to open up your heart and understand that the divine feminine in you needs some balance. Because a lot of times it's the maker or breaker in a relationship when a woman doesn't feel appreciated, when she doesn't feel seen or heard, when her feelings are not acknowledged, understood, and then it sets in resentment. And then, it just goes in other areas that are unnecessary for those loving relationships. Yeah. So, with that, I'm going to leave it there. And until next time, be well.